YouTube fan, what's going on? Okay, another video. This is one answering to one of my subscribers. His name's Clay D, and he was asking about fuel card and business credit. So in this video, I'm gonna just talk about the fuel card because real good questions too, by the way. But you know, it's too deep, so I'm gonna break them down in two videos. Okay. Understand this. Once you get your own authority, right, you have an option to get a fuel card or not. You don't have to get a fuel card, you understand? Because if you don't get a fuel card, you still can get fuel, but what you have to do is get an advance from the broker. Because, oh, and mind you, not every broker allows you to get an advance, okay? So make sure you ask the broker that you're running that load for. If you don't have the cash, you don't have the money, make sure you ask them out the gate. Be like, hey, look, listen, do you guys offer cash advance? Okay. And then book the load. Now that's if you don't have the cash to put fuel in your truck. Okay. Make sure you ask that question, because that happened to me a few times where I'm going to book a load and I didn't ask the company if they actually do advances, and found out that they didn't, and I already booked the load. So I had to go into my own pocket. But that's not a bad thing either, man. Going into your own pocket, you save money, because now you don't have to pay that 4%, 3 to 4%, and getting the advance, you know, because they charge you to give you the advance. So let's say the load is $3,000, right? And you get an advance 50%. They were like, oh, how much you need? I'll be like, all right, I want 50%. So out of the 50%, don't think they're gonna charge you 3% for that 3,000, for that 1,500 that you're receiving. They're gonna charge you 3 to 4% on the whole $3,000. So understand that. So that's how they dip into your money. Okay, so that's if you want an advance to put fuel in your truck. So to answer your question, you don't have to use your own money, but if you get an advance, they're going to charge you 3-4%. In many cases, that's what a lot of drivers do. They get an advance to pay for the fuel and to have money in their pocket, whatever happens, or break down, blah, blah, blah. Okay? That's totally up to you. Whatever your financial situation you know you're in, you'll be able to determine what's the best move. But there is a time where I did that, okay? But what happens is, once you get the fuel card, and yes, you can get a fuel card. You know, there's many companies out there. You know, I'm not gonna go down the list of, you know, all the best companies, because there's so many factoring companies. Majority of the brokers are actually doing fuel cards and factoring, so it's too much. But when you do the fuel card too, same thing with them. They want a percentage of whatever they finance. I mean, that's the game. You're financing money. You're financing fuel. So they're gonna want their cut at the end of the day. They're gonna get something at the end of the day. But the important thing to remember, right, is knowing your situation. Okay, if you know, let's say for instance, you just started out. So in the beginning, you want to set a goal and be like, you know what, I'll get an advance, but as I continue to go on, I'm going to save up enough money where I don't have to get an advance. I could use my business account, you know, because some people might say it's crazy, and a lot of independent drivers may not agree with me, but that's a route you can go if you want to see all your money. Because see, once you book a load, let's say once you book that load for $3,000, right? You know, there's so much different percentages that come out of that, right? And you as an independent operator, right, you got to try to cut down on all the expenses or fees that can cut into your money. So, you know, I remember too, and I know I'm always bring up Casanova's name because when I was a company driver and I was watching his videos, I remember he was talking about the same thing. And he was talking about how, you know, these companies everybody wants a piece of the pie. The factoring companies, the broker, getting his cut, and whatever it costs for you to run the load and your overhead in your business, right? So technically that $3,000, man, it'll dwindle away behind all these different factors that's causing people to get money out of that $3,000. What you're trying to do, your ultimate goal, you might not be able to do that when you first start off because, yeah, you know, they're going to dip in your pocket. You're trying to build enough capital where you could keep as much money in your pocket. And the way you do that is by, like I said, whatever, your first 60 to 90 days in business, you want to save up as much money as you can. And once you save up enough money as you can, what you can then do is you can use your own money instead of getting in advance. You know, paying for your own fuel, you know, and not getting a fuel card. You can do all these things, right? I mean, like I said, that's the way to do it if you want to save money. Now, a lot of guys aren't doing that. A lot of guys do go with the fuel card. And I'm not knocking the fuel card. I'm just letting you know that they're going to want a percentage too. You know, turning in your bill of lading to a factoring company, they're going to charge you 3-4% to give you your money, because once you receive your bill of lading, what you have to, if you're with a factoring company, right, or the broker provides factoring where they can pay you out in a timely manner. Let's say if you want to get paid, and usually every broker is different. Usually, let's say they said, okay, we'll give you your, okay, you turn in your bill of ladings, they're gonna pay you out, but they're gonna ask you, they're gonna let you know their fees. Okay, if you want it in 2 days, we're gonna charge you 4%. If you want it in 7 days, we're gonna charge you it's a less percent, probably 1%. And if you wait 15 days, they won't charge you at all. So they'll pay you out in 50 days, give you your whole $3,000 without charging you anything. That's the route that you're gonna ideally want to be in. You understand? Where you can wait that 15 days to get paid. But like I said, that's after you save up enough money. That's for later on down the road when you got enough capital to do that. In the beginning though, obviously you're gonna want to get your check as soon as you turn in your bill of lading. You're gonna want to get it in 2-3 days. And if they charge you 4% or 3%, at that point, and you can shop around. Sometimes you can find them lower, like 2.75, 2.8, whatever the factoring companies will charge you. But if you want to see all your money though, that's the route you want to go. You want to be able to save up enough money to start using your own money. Okay? Now a lot of people don't do it that way. They factor, which is nothing wrong with factoring. I'm just giving you guys options here. Nothing wrong with factoring. But you want that to just be the only thing that they take out. Okay, I'm gonna turn in my bill of lading and they're gonna charge me 3% to give it to me in 2 days. Okay, boom. That's not that bad. 3%, you gotta give something, okay? But let's imagine if you did 3%, 3 to 4% to get it in advance. Okay, so let's say they charge you 4%. Just giving a rough estimate to give you the $1,500 to run the load, because they're gonna give you extra if you need it. You understand me, or whatever. If they give you the 4%, and then when you turn in your paperwork, they charge you another 4%. So that's almost 8% that they took out of that total 3,000. So you're trying to reduce that amount. So if you could say, I don't want the fuel advance, and you just want to turn your paper in for factoring and whatever, let them charge you that 4%, boom. So now you understand what I'm trying to say. Hopefully I'm not confusing you guys, you understand? Trying to make it sound as simplistic as possible, because you know, a lot of you are gonna jump out there and you guys are gonna be making these decisions, and you want to keep that in mind. You know, you're just trying to lower your costs and try to save money in any area that you can, because mind you, got to pay for fuel. Now fuel cards are very beneficial, because Shells, I know, has a program, and Fleet One too. Oh, let me tell you about Fleet One, which I think would be a very good company to go with, right? Fleet One, right? But your credit has to be at a 630, or your business credit has to be at a 630 or better. Well, your personal credit, I'm gonna just tell you what I know. Your personal credit is, if it's above 630, they'll factor you whether $25 to $3,000. You understand? On a card. Now, once you do that, right, you'll be able to. What they do, the unique thing about them, they don't charge you a percentage off financing you. They charge a merchant fee to the company that, let's say if they go to a whatever gas station that you go to, you know, they get a merchant fee percentage. So they get their money off the back end. So they're a pretty decent company to work with. But ultimately, I want you to prepare yourself to kind of use your own money if you can. You know, it's a pretty wise move. I was debating going with the Loves. Loves actually has factoring, and they have their own fuel card. You know, I just never went through with them. So check out Loves, man, and they might be all right, you know, because I know they got fuel advantages and whatnot. So all you owner operators out there, leave comments at the bottom. Tell me what you think, you know, and what's the best route when it comes to fuel card, and in the information that I'm basically giving. You know, I say that because I don't know everything, right? Because there's guys that's been out there longer than me, and they might have a smarter way of doing things, and I want to know too, because I don't know everything. And I'll tell you guys, you know, it's about each one teaching one. I don't know everything. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm a super trucker. You guys know my story, you know. So at the end of the day, I could receive, if I might be looking at it the wrong way, there might be a right way or a smarter way. That's why I always tell you guys, leave comments at the bottom, you know, so I could gain insight. And in the process of me gaining, we all gain the insight. So, you know, that's my video on the fuel card. Any other questions or comments, hit the like button if you benefited from it. And we're going to do it like that. All right, then. I'm out.